Welcome to Noemi and Friends, located in downtown Bemidji, where homemade is in the air at the Cabin Coffee House and Cafe. Thank you for joining me tonight. I've got our local musicians, Ruby Tuesday. We're going to be interviewing Don Zeman, a local person in our community that I think that you should know more about. And lucky you, you're going to get to see me cooking some fabulous food. So come on in and we'll take a look and see what's going on in the cabin. All right, and here we are tonight with Ruby Tuesday. And Don, would you please introduce all of our friends here?
You bet. Now, Ruby Tuesday is a group that gets together on Tuesday nights. Everybody's welcome. We meet here at the Cabin Coffee House in Bemidji, 6 to 8 or 8:30 or so. It's been a group where all kinds of people bring music to share. I'm Don Zeman. This is Dave Dilly, Terry Bacher, Billy Ayers, and they're just part of the group that comes. We've had people come with an accordion, a tuba, all kinds of instruments. Everybody brings music. We all put it together and have a lot of fun with it. And we sure appreciate Noemi hosting us here at the cabin.
Oh, we love you on Tuesday nights. Everyone's welcome. All right, let's hear some of your music.
Okay,
right.
You bet.
We need to bring it a little closer.
You need to get rid of the book.
Let's try this. Yeah, that's what I was
I
guessing.
know the words.
Okay,
but I don't
ready.
know the chords.
1, 2. Hey, if you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I have gone, and you can hear the whistle blow 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Oh Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home. Not a shirt on my back, not a pain to my hand. Lord, I can't go back home this away. Oh, this away, this away, this away, hey, this away. Lord, I can't go back home this away. So if you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I have gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. It's one of those good train songs.
Well, Don, thank you for coming and visiting with me here at the cabin today.
It's my pleasure, Noemi. It's nice to be here.
What do you exactly do at the middle school?
Yeah, I'm a school psychologist. I've been doing that for 21 years here in Bemidji. I like working with kids. I do some psychological testing for students that might have special needs like a learning disability or something like that. Help with programming, help some with counseling and things like that. And mostly it's just working with kids, and I'm kind of a specialist in learning how kids learn best. And I try to apply some of those skills. But I love working with kids. I've been doing it for a long time, and the Bemidji schools and the Bemidji community have always been a nice place to be.
Yes, Bemidji is a wonderful community. I agree with you there. And I don't know you in that line of work.
Yeah, you
because
wouldn't.
I'm not in school
You
anymore.
wouldn't.
But what I noticed that you do have an interest in children, because when you come and play on Tuesday nights
Oh,
with
yeah,
Ruby
right.
Tuesday, you
Yep.
always bring a bag of rocks. You've got to share with our viewers what this bag of rocks is about.
Sure. Well, I love tumbled stones, and my dad was a stonemason and a bricklayer, so he was always working with rocks and stones, and I just love different kinds of activities with rocks and stones. Kids love them. They'll love to find a stone that shines or find one that has a favorite color or a certain kind of shape. And these are all natural. These are all natural stones. They all have calcite in them, so when they're tumbled, they polish and they shine. Aren't they fun?
They're gorgeous. They're
and
gorgeous.
Kids just love them. I know your granddaughter just loves them when we bring them out.
One of my granddaughters, she just left for out of state, and the one important thing she wanted to show me before she left town was to show me all the rocks that she had collected from Dawn over the last couple of years, and they're in her safe box.
Yeah. And you know, rocks are a big part of communities, and like these all have folk names. This is sandstone. This is hematite. It's an iron ore that polishes, that's found in northern Minnesota. There are amethysts that just catch the light, have that nice purple color. And then, of course, a lot of agates, like the Minnesota State Stone, which is the Lake Superior agate.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they?
And you have a special saying, I know you do. What's the saying that you say when you hand out a stone to an adult or to a child?
Oh, right.
What is your special little saying you say?
Well, I let them draw a stone out of the bag, and I think it's been a while since you've done that.
Yes,
Why don't
okay.
you put them in
so
there?
we'll put them in there.
Okay.
All right, and I am going to get a special stone.
Yeah. Well, I believe if you find a stone that feels right for you, you'll find a stone that's like you in some way.
Okay.
Now, the stone that you picked is like you in some way. How it's like you, though, I don't know, because I don't know all that. But I know this. I know your stone isn't perfect. It's got nicks and chips and cracks. Your stone isn't perfect, neither are you. But at the same time, you both bring something very unique and special and wonderful to the world, something that nobody else has. So I want to thank you for everything you've shared with us and wish you good luck for a journey. I tell kids all the time, we're all on a journey. We're all going someplace. My journey is a lot different than theirs. And I was doing this with my grandkids. My granddaughter's just 5. And, you know, she's looking at the world entirely. She's going to see things that I'll never see. But I've seen things that are different from her journey, too. So we can share a lot of things during the time we travel together. But I love that. That's white quartz. Hold it up to the light. Doesn't it just have a wonderful glow to it?
Yes, it does.
Quartz has just got a nice resonance and vibration. They used to use quartz in radio tubes because it picks up vibrations.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. Doesn't
my
that suit you?
It does suit me, and one of my favorite colors is white. So
right.
I like wearing white clothing and black and white. So this is very appropriate. Thank you so much, Don. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
And you always make someone shine. I love that. Thank you so much, Don.
Yeah. Well, believe me, it's fun. And when I do counseling or just work with groups of kids or at the nursing home, to leave somebody with something tangible helps them to remember what you were talking about or what you were working on.
You're right. I'm always going to hold this special. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, thanks, Noemi.
Well, hello, viewers, and we are out and about in our community in northern Minnesota, Bemidji, and I have Don Zeman here, and he's going to share with us today about his hobby, wood carving. And Don, can you start and show us what you've got here?
You bet. I'd be delighted, and thanks for having me with this. You know, we're here in the North Woods of Minnesota, so we've got the opportunity to use all kinds of wood, and there's saplings and tree and things all over. But the lumberjacks up here used to have time on their hands, and so they would make wooden chains. And I saw that and I thought, well, that is so neat. How would you make a wooden chain? So I found the pattern in an old book and I worked it out, and basically you measure off sections and you carve it out of a straight piece of wood.
I have never seen this before.
So this is an example of how you take the piece of wood and you measure off each section, and then you notch it and you start carving and drilling and work your way around until you end up with something like this.
This is gorgeous.
They are a lot of fun, aren't they? I made the first one for my daughter, and you can see there's a difference between the ones that are kind of rough cut and the ones that have been sanded.
Right.
Once they've been sanded, they get a nice finish.
This is beautiful.
And these are pine. If you smell them, you can still smell the wood, and you get that nice pine feel and things like that. It's just a wonderful, softer wood to work with. This is walnut, and this is a really hard wood. My hands were really sore when I got done with this one.
I bet they
and
were.
It's not as long as the others because that was about as far as I was going to go.
I
But I
bet.
love that color, and it'll hold up for a long time. So I was looking at things that my daughter and my grandkids could play with, and I had carved some wooden toys for them and some things like
Oh,
that.
they're lucky.
But I used to do one of these every summer because it does take a time, but it's just kind of sit there and whittle.
Oh, my
Before
goodness.
you know it, all kinds of time has gone by. But it's fun to do, and it's something that's fun to share. When I do counseling and working with kids, I tell them, you know, we all have bad habits, we all have things that we need to change about ourselves, and they say that we all make our own chains. It's kind of a deal in counseling, so if we make them, we know how to break them.
That's
And-
right. I
and
like
so,
that.
So I thought if I make my own chains, I should know how to fix some of those kinds of things.
Oh, that's awesome. And I see you have, what are these?
Well, these are walking sticks. You know, I would go out on hikes and I'd see where they'd cut down saplings, or, you know, as the people would come by on the trails, they would trim down some of the branches and just leave them there. and whenever a new construction is made, they'll bulldoze a lot of trees. So I haven't taken any trees down. What I've done is I've gone to areas where they've already taken trees down, and I'll cut a piece, and then I'll inlay a stone into them, and I'll make a walking stick. So I thought this was really nice, and I laid a quartz point at the top, and it's just got a nice natural feel to it. I thought that was nice. This is a piece of sandstone, and I had made one like this for one of the teachers that retired a couple years ago and given him a nice little going away present.
That is awesome.
But there are some amazing stones out here. Isn't that a wonderful color? That's all natural. That's called bloodstone.
Wow.
It's a type of fancy jasper.
Oh my gosh.
And you'll see different kinds of shapes as you go along. Now to me, this looked like a buffalo.
Oh.
And so I inlaid it in there, and I found just a stone that had a real nice natural kind of shape.
Okay.
And I found a stick that kind of worked with it. This is kind of birch. You can see it's got some of those birch kind of colors and things like that.
So you got all different lengths for the height of people?
Well, that's the thing about a walking stick. You really do want it to be comfortable. You want your hand to be at a 90-degree angle. You want to be a nice, comfortable fit. And then as you walk, you want it to be able to take the weight off your joints. So you don't want it too tall or too short. You want it where when your hand makes a 90-degree angle, that's kind of comfortable fit. That's pretty close for you, maybe a little bit short. Isn't that
Really?
a pretty stone on
I
there?
love this one. That's the one I picked out. I thought, oh yeah, that's nice. I'm a blue person too.
Those are very appealing and like. But it's just a lot of fun to work with the different stones. This is sandstone. This is a blue banded agate with white quartz in it, and that is very striking. It really does
It
stand
is striking.
out nicely. And I've just
Wow.
had a lot of fun with doing this. A lot of them I give away. We've raised some money for different groups like the Headwaters School and selling them at the Art in the Park. These are fun to look at. This is a type of oak, and it's got a nice malachite piece in it, and this is a piece of oak too. And these are really strong, really durable. They will hold up for an awful long time. But the oak is a little heavier, so when
Okay.
you get the sticks bigger, then they're pretty heavy to
You're
work
right.
with and the like.
This was heavier than the other one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are. But in a lot of cases, my brother works out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and when you're walking out there, you have to be careful about bears. And a lot of people like to have a heavy walking stick with them as
Okay.
they go along. I'm not saying that
I think they've become more popular. Actually,
Yeah.
I've seen other
Oh, yeah.
all-age people using a stick.
Yeah, it does take weight off the joints. When you use a walking stick regularly, especially if you're hiking up and down a lot of terrain and the like. And so
Okay.
a lot of, in retirement communities, they all have walking sticks as they go out and hikes in the hills and the like.
What a great hobby.
Oh, it is, it is.
And it fits in with your stone collection that you do.
Well,
That's awesome.
It does, because with kids, I make some just for kids, and they have these little points on them. Citrine points, amethyst points, quartz points, and kids just love these. They think they're so much fun. They think they're like magic,
Oh yeah.
wands and
kind
things
of like
like
the
that.
little Harry Potter
Yeah.
sticks they sit
Yep,
on and
yep,
fly around with. I don't remember what that was
Kind of
called.
like that or whatever. But
Okay.
it's a lot of fun to do things like that in the community, share them with people. My great nieces loved them. When they came up here to visit, I said, we're going to go on a hike and look for bears. So you better take a walking stick with you.
All right.
And they did.
That's awesome. Thank you, Don, for sharing your extra hobbies with us. I love that.
You bet. Thank you
All right,
so
thank
much.
you.
It's always fun.
We are back with Don Zeman, and we've learned about Don's hobbies and his stories on rocks, which is wonderful. But Don, there's something else that I would like you to share with us. You are a cancer survivor, which is amazing, and congratulations to you.
Yeah.
And can you share a little bit about what type of cancer you had and how you came about in your survival?
It was, just because it's a big part of who I am now, is that it was an experience that I had at one time. When I was a younger man, I had just gotten married, I was teaching in North Dakota, and I found out that I had a testicular cancer, and then it had metastasized to a mass by my kidney. So I had to go through about 8 months of chemotherapy, surgeries, and more chemotherapies and the like. And it was a real life-changing experience for me, because I was very stressed in my work, was kind of overdoing everything. I was coaching, I was teaching, I was covering several different jobs. And I really believe that for me, when we get too stressed, our immune system is weakened, and then we're not able to fight off some of those kinds of conditions like cancers. So once I experienced that, I never wanted that to happen to me again. So I started doing a lot of things on reducing stress, learning relaxation techniques, making sure that I'm listening to what my body's telling me, and then changes in lifestyle and eating and things like that too. It really was a life-changing experience for me and for my wife. We changed the way we do a lot of different things. But changes in eating, learning a lot about about when I am stressed to take some time to relax, calm myself down, figure out what it is that's bothering me and find a way to constructively deal with it. But diet's a big part of it. A lot of the research on cancers talks about changing to healthier eating styles, that a lot of times the way we treat our bodies is reflected in what happens to us too. But it was a scary event. It was, like I said, a life-changing event. I'm real fortunate. I'm real blessed. I have a lot of friends that have been cancer survivors or who have battled cancer and lost that battle. And I'm just very grateful that I've had the opportunity to walk my daughter down the aisle and see her get married and play with my grandkids, all things that I wouldn't have been able to experience.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I did. How many years ago was that?
28.
28.
So I'm very fortunate. You know, was a good friend of mine, and he had lost his battle with cancer.
That's
but he
right.
and I both said, you know, we got nothing to complain about. Every day's a gift. And
Every
we're
day is a
very
gift.
blessed people.
And I'm glad that you mentioned about healthy eating, because we are going to have the healthy cooking segment
Yeah,
show
you bet.
within the for the viewers to learn that eating is so crucial. And you know, there's like a health epidemic in our country right now, and if more people would change their habits, diet habits, they will improve, and maybe cancer won't be present in their lives. So I'm so happy you're a survivor, because I would have never met you. And you always bring joy. When I see you, you always bring joy, and I know that you're going to bring joy to everyone you meet in your future. And
Well,
you're
I've
just an important person in our community.
Thanks. Well, we love being in Bemidji, and I appreciate all the things you've done. I've loved your Facebook features on some of the natural vegan lifestyle and
yes.
and all the stuff you got here. When my brother was up here visiting with me, we stopped and ate here one day.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm eating there every day." He said, "That's the
Is
best
that
food we
right?
can find." And,
that's
and he's
great.
really into health and wellness, and he
Well,
knew
that's
that
great.
you know, good salads and good nutrients.
Well,
and
we
all.
try to add things all the time. Once
Yeah.
I change the way my lifestyle is, and so I had to bring it into the cabin lifestyle too. So thank you so much for sharing that. And
You bet. Okay.
people will probably come up to you on the street and say, "Hey, I didn't know that about you."
Yeah, and certainly, you know, I've been to some of the relays for life. I've been a part of some of the things in the community. But yeah, everybody's journey on that's kind of a personal one too.
It is personal. Well, thank you so much, Don.
You bet. Thank you, Noemi. So glad to be here.
Thank you.
And thanks for hosting our Ruby Tuesday gathering. So
Oh,
we do
yes.
that on Tuesdays here.
That's
and
right.
everybody's welcome if you just want to come and sing songs
That's
or do
what I love
things.
about Ruby Tuesday. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, we've had
Great.
hundreds of people come through there. We've had an accordion player, we've had a tuba player, we've had all kinds of guitars and mandolins, banjos. It's just all fun, young and old.
That's great. Thank you.
Stab it.
Careful.
Be careful.
It's muddy outside.
Oh, I think my mandolins on shape. That's right.
I'm headed down south to the land of the pines. 11 mile away
Welcome. I'm Noemi Ellsworth. Thank you for joining me today. I'm very honored that you are going to be wanting to see and learn what I have ahead of here on this wonderful table. Look at this beautiful feast. What we're going to learn today, and I know it's a favorite of many people, is homemade salsa. And most people buy the jar salsa at all the different stores. It's not that hard. And one of the main things I want to teach people is that anyone can learn to cook. It's easy. You don't have to go to a chef school. If you do that, that's great. But if you're the everyday cook like I am, you can do it. I know you can. So today, I'm using a food processor, and this is really key in my kitchen. So we're going to start throwing in some fresh ingredients. I've got some garden tomatoes here. We're going to throw those in. Some of them are the beefy ones, and I'm using the inside of the tomatoes as well. Some people, when they use like Roma tomatoes or really juicy tomatoes, they take out all of the juicy filling. But I prefer to keep that. It's full of nutrients, so why not? So we're going to throw in all these beautiful tomatoes. And I'm happy to say that we grew some of these tomatoes, so I'm thrilled. The next we're going to throw in is some fresh garlic. You can throw in as much garlic as you like. Some people don't like very much, so like my husband, he only likes 1 clove, but since he isn't here today, we're going to use 2 cloves of garlic. And this is called a garlic press. If you don't have one of these, you might want to invest. It's quite easy to use. You just put it in there and press. Get all of that good garlic. And if you want to put more garlic in, put in more garlic. It's whatever you like. It's your salsa. Then we're going to put in some fresh onions. I've already peeled them up. Get them in a little bit smaller chunks in the food processor. And when we food process this, we are going to just pulse it. You don't want to turn the food processor on because it'll turn it into a mushy soup. And we don't want a mushy soup. The next ingredient we're going to add is your fresh jalapeno. And even though when you buy jalapenos, you think they're going to be burning hot, not all of them are. The serranos are hot, but I prefer to buy jalapenos, and some of them are hotter than others. So when I do that, I usually take a little piece off and taste it before I put it in. Now, I've already done that, so these are not hot. So I'm just going to throw in the whole jalapeno and a couple of the little seeds. Now, if you can see in here, there's always a vein with seeds in there. The seeds are usually hot, even on the jalapenos. So I won't put all of them in there, just a couple of seeds, and then some people will get a hotter bite than other people. And we'll get that whole jalapeno in there. And you can use all serranos if that is the flavor you like, really, really spicy hot. The next thing we are going to add is, there's nothing better than fresh cilantro. Oh my gosh. I love buying cilantro, but what I like better is growing cilantro. And I know in the past I used to just I would pick the leaves off, but I've learned there's a lot of nutrients in the stems. You might as well just shove them all in there. And you can put in as many as you like on the cilantro. It's your salsa. What do you like? Put in more cilantro. It's awesome. And the next little tang you're going to want in there is you are going to want some lime. And today I'm just going to put in a half a lime. You can use a regular press. This one just squeezes the juice out. So I'll stand up here and try to get that in. And you know what? This lime is bigger than normal. I think this is more or less for key limes. So I'm just going to quick grab my other press, which is a press that you use for lemons. So you can use a lemon or a lime, and I prefer using the lemon one. So we're putting in fresh lime. Oh man, I wish you could smell this. This is divine. This is absolutely divine. And I'm going to throw in a few of my cherry tomatoes because they're from my garden, which is fun. And the other ingredient that most people are not really familiar with are tomatillos. Now, I happen to have grown these in my garden for the first time ever, and they really turned out nice. And when I first tasted my first tomatillo from my garden, it was actually sweet like an apple, which I was just like, oh my gosh. So this is going to give a sweetness to my salsa. So you don't have to add any sugar. I would never add sugar to salsa anyway, but if you want a little sweetness, or if you want a little, most of the tomatillos that you see at the store are green, and they're wrapped in a little lantern-like paper, and they're full of a lot of good nutrients. So we've got all of that in there. And we're going to turn it on and just gently pulse it. And sometimes I might get a little bit too much in there, and I'll pour it all in a bowl, break it in two, and then divide it into two little halves. So here we go. It's going to get a little bit loud. Sometimes I'll open it up and I will push some of these bigger ingredients down to the bottom. And what I like to eat salsa, everybody likes to eat their chips with salsa, but one of our favorite meals at our house is to put it over a baked potato. It's amazing. Let's get this diced up. Oh man. Every time I make this, my mouth just waters. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to put this on a chip. And if you like bigger chunks, don't pulse it as often. You want it a little bit smaller chunks, which is what I usually prefer. So, oh man, it looks divine. I'm going to give it just a couple of more pulses. Perfect. I'm telling you, you can't get better salsa. You cannot get better salsa. This is beautiful. Look at that. Look at the colors. And this is going to taste great. I know you're going to enjoy it.
This magic moment, so different and so new, was like any other. Until I kissed you, and then it happened. Oh, it took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too. By the look in your eyes, oh, it's sweeter than wine. It's softer than a summer night. And everything I want I have whenever I hold you tight. To this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever. Oh, forever till the end of time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now it's sweeter than wine, softer than a summer night. Everything I want I have whenever I hold you tight. This magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever. And forever till the end of time. Whoa,
Thank you for joining us, viewers, and that's a wrap for this evening. But I have one more question for this band. Please share with me what your favorite items at the cabin are.
I've tried just about everything on the menu, but I always like the hot dishes.
All right, David.
Coffee and chicken wild rice.
Chicken wild rice hot dish. It wins again.
Favorite.
Nature muffins and anything with avocados, the wraps, the hot dishes, anything. I
Awesome.
like it all.
Chili is great.
Chili.
Always good coffee too.
All right, thank you guys. That's a wrap. We'll see you another night. Bye.
Good night.